When Patricia announced she wanted to plan my baby shower, I should have known there was a catch. My mother-in-law doesn't do anything out of the goodness of her heart. There's always an angle, always a way for her to come out ahead. But I was 7 months pregnant, exhausted, and frankly relieved that someone else wanted to handle the logistics of gathering 30 women in one room to watch me open tiny onesies. "It'll be my gift to you and the baby," she said during our monthly dinner at her house, the kind of dinner where she serves salmon on her good china and makes subtle comments about how I should be eating more vegetables. I know exactly what kind of shower a future grandmother should throw. My husband Jake squeezed my hand under the table. "That's really generous, Mom." Patricia beamed. "I've already started a guest list. We'll invite all the important people. My book club, the ladies from the country club, your college friends, of course. I'm thinking the ballroom at the Marriott downtown. Nothing but the best for my first grandchild." I felt a flutter of unease. Patricia's idea of nothing but the best usually came with a price tag that made my credit card weep. But Jake looked so happy, and honestly, the thought of not having to coordinate RSVPs and centerpieces sounded like heaven. "That sounds wonderful," I said. "But maybe we could keep it simple? I don't need anything fancy." Patricia waved her hand dismissively. "Nonsense. This is a celebration. You only get one first baby shower." 3 weeks later, the invitations went out. I knew this because my best friend Madison called me at work, confusion evident in her voice. "Hey, congratulations again on the baby shower invitation. It looks really elegant." "Thanks." Patricia went all out with the design. "Yeah, about that." Madison paused. "Thanks for the lovely invitation, but $75 per person seems steep for a baby shower." My coffee mug froze halfway to my lips. "I'm sorry, what? The fee? On the invitation? It says investment in baby's future. $75 per guest, payable to Patricia Hendricks." I set my mug down carefully like it might explode. "Madison, I didn't charge anyone anything. There's no fee." Silence. Then, "Mia, I'm looking at the invitation right now. It's printed right there at the bottom in gold script." My hand started shaking. "Can you take a picture and send it to me?" The photo arrived 2 minutes later. The invitation was beautiful, cream cardstock with pink and gold details, my name in elegant calligraphy. And there, at the bottom in smaller but still clearly visible text, "Investment in baby's future, $75 per guest. Please remit payment to Patricia Hendricks by March 15th to confirm attendance." I stared at my phone's screen in my gray cubicle, surrounded by the mundane sounds of office life, trying to process what I was seeing. My mother-in-law was charging people to attend my baby shower. Not asking for gifts, charging admission. I called Jake immediately. "She did what?" His voice cracked with disbelief. "She's charging $75 per person to come to my baby shower." That has to be a mistake. Mom wouldn't do that." But even as he said it, I could hear the uncertainty in his voice. Because Patricia absolutely would do that. Patricia, who charged her own children rent when they moved back home after college. Patricia, who invoiced family members for their share of holiday dinners. Patricia, who once asked me to Venmo her for gas money after she drove us to the airport, for a trip she had invited herself on. I left work early and drove straight to Patricia's house. She answered the door in full makeup and a floral dress, like she was expecting company. "Mia, what a lovely surprise. Come in, come in." I followed her into her immaculate living room, where every surface gleamed and not a single throw pillow was out of place. She gestured for me to sit on the cream sofa, the one she'd made me help her pick out, and then asked me to split the cost of. "Patricia, we need to talk about the baby shower invitations." Her smile didn't waver. "Aren't they beautiful? I found the most wonderful stationer. Cost a bit more than I expected, but quality is important." "Why is there a charge on them?" "A charge?" She tilted her head like she had no idea what I was talking about. I pulled out my phone and showed her Madison's photo. $75 per person. Investment in baby's future. Patricia glanced at the screen and nodded approvingly. "Oh yes, that. Well, someone has to pay for this baby's future." The casual way she said it, like it was the most reasonable thing in the world, made my vision blur with rage. "Patricia, you can't charge people to attend my baby shower." "Why not? Do you have any idea how much a proper shower costs? The venue, the catering, the decorations, the favors. I've already put down deposits. I never asked for a proper shower. I would have been happy with cake in someone's backyard." She looked at me like I'd suggested serving the baby formula in dirty bottles. My grandchild deserves better than backyard cake. This shower will set the right tone for the kind of family we are. The kind of family that nickels and dimes their friends? Patricia's composure cracked slightly. It's not nickeling and diming. It's sharing the cost of celebration among people who care about you. Everyone contributes, everyone enjoys. Everyone contributes to what exactly? She stood up and walked to her kitchen island, returning with a thick binder. I've been planning this for weeks. Look at what I've arranged. She opened the binder like she was presenting a business proposal. Pages of vendor contracts, menu selections, and itemized cost breakdowns. The Marriott Ballroom rental, $2,200. Catering for 40 people, $1,800. Professional photographer, $800. Floral arrangements, $600. Custom favors, $400. DJ and sound system, $500. The total comes to just over $6,000, she said proudly. Divided among 40 guests, that's only $150 per person. I generously covered half the cost myself, bringing each guest's contribution down to a very reasonable $75. I stared at the numbers, trying to process the audacity. Patricia, this isn't a charity fundraiser. It's supposed to be a gift. A shower that you offered to host as your present to me. And it is a gift. My gift is the planning, the coordination, the stress of managing everything. But the actual costs need to be shared. That's how events work in the real world. No, that's how pyramid schemes work. Her face hardened. I don't appreciate that tone. I'm trying to give you a shower worthy of my son's child, and you're acting ungrateful. I'm acting like someone who just found out her mother-in-law is scamming her friends. That evening, I called my mom. She listened quietly as I explained the situation, occasionally making small noises of disbelief. Honey, that's not how baby showers work, she said finally. When someone offers to host, they host. They don't crowdfund it. I know that. You know that. Patricia apparently has her own rules. What does Jake say? That was the question I'd been dreading. Jake was torn between defending his mother and supporting his wife, which meant he was doing neither effectively. His solution was to suggest we all sit down and work something out, which was code for, let's find a way to make this my pregnant wife's problem to solve. The next morning, I started getting calls. Friends who'd received the invitation were confused, uncomfortable, and asking if this was normal. My college roommate asked if it was some kind of new trend. My cousin wanted to know if she should also charge admission to her daughter's birthday party. But the call that broke me came from my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Chin. She'd been like a grandmother to me since I moved to the neighborhood, always bringing me vegetables from her garden and asking about my pregnancy. Dear, I got your shower invitation, she said in her soft voice. I want to come celebrate your baby, but $75 is more than I spend on groceries in a week. I'm so sorry. I sat in my kitchen, 7 months pregnant, and crying over the phone with a 78-year-old woman who was apologizing for not being able to afford my mother-in-law's profit margins. Mrs. Chun, please don't apologize. This is not your fault, and you don't owe anyone anything. But I want to celebrate your baby. We'll have our own celebration. Just you, me, and some backyard cake. That afternoon, I called Patricia. I'm canceling the shower. You can't cancel. I've already paid deposits. Then you can eat the cost, since you planned it without asking what I actually wanted. Mia, you're being emotional. Pregnancy hormones can make women irrational. I took a deep breath. Patricia, I'm going to ask you once. Will you remove the charge from the invitations and pay for the shower you offered to host as a gift? I can't afford to pay for the whole thing myself. That's why we're sharing costs. Then I'm canceling it. Fine, but I'm not refunding the deposits. And Jake will hear about how his wife ruined his mother's generous gesture. She hung up. I sat there for a moment, then opened my laptop and started typing. The email went to everyone on the invitation list. Dear friends and family, I recently learned that invitations to my baby shower included a charge that I did not authorize and do not support. Please disregard these invitations. The shower has been canceled. If you have already sent payment, please contact Patricia Hendricks directly for a refund. Thank you for understanding. Within an hour, my phone was buzzing with responses. Supportive messages, offers to host a different shower, and a surprising number of people saying they'd had similar experiences with Patricia at other events. That's when Jake's sister Emma called. Oh my God, Mom did this to you too? What do you mean too? Emma laughed bitterly. She charged people to come to my graduation party. Said it was a celebration fee to cover the cost of the venue and food. I didn't find out until months later when my friend mentioned it. She's done this before? Mom has turned every family event into a business opportunity for years. My wedding shower, Jake's graduation, Dad's retirement party. She finds ways to make other people pay while taking credit for hosting. I felt sick. How did I not know this? Because she's good at making it seem normal. She makes it sound like she's doing you a favor by handling the business side of celebrations. That evening, Jake came home to find me packing a bag. Where are you going? To my mom's. For the weekend. I need some space to think. Mia, we can fix this. Mom just got carried away. I looked at my husband, sweet, well-meaning Jake, who'd grown up thinking his mother's behavior was normal because he'd never known anything else. Jake, your mother charged admission to my baby shower and then acted like I was ungrateful for objecting. This isn't getting carried away. This is who she is. But she meant well. No, she meant profit. I spent the weekend at my mom's house, eating actual food instead of whatever weird diet Patricia kept pushing on me, and planning my own shower. A simple gathering in my mom's backyard with sandwiches, homemade cake, and people who wanted to celebrate without paying for the privilege. On Monday, Emma called with an update. I talked to some of Mom's friends from the country club. Turns out she's been doing this for years. She offers to host events, then charges people to attend, and pockets whatever's left after expenses. She's made thousands of dollars this way. That's fraud. That's Mom. The real revelation came when I decided to do some investigating of my own. I called the Marriott to ask about the ballroom rental Patricia had supposedly booked. I'm sorry, ma'am, but we don't have any reservation under that name for those dates, the event coordinator told me. I called the caterer next. Same story. No booking, no deposit, no record of Patricia Hendricks. She'd made it all up. The expensive venue, the premium catering, the professional photographer, none of it existed. She'd created fake invoices and imaginary expenses to justify charging my friends and family for a party that was never going to happen the way she described. When I confronted her with this information, Patricia's response was chilling in its casualness. Well, I was going to book those vendors once I collected enough money. It's just business planning. It's fraud, Patricia. It's entrepreneurship. I saw an opportunity to create a memorable event while building a little nest egg for the baby. Everyone wins. Except the people you lied to. She shrugged. They would have spent the money on a gift anyway. This way, it goes towards something more useful. That's when I realized Patricia hadn't just been charging admission to my baby shower. She'd been running a con, using my pregnancy and my friend's generosity to fund her own little side business. I gave her an ultimatum: refund everyone's money immediately, or I'd report her to the police for fraud. She chose to refund the money, but not before sending a group email to everyone explaining that the shower was canceled because I was too controlling and didn't appreciate family support. Jake and I ended up having our own shower, a potluck in our backyard with folding chairs and store-bought decorations. It was perfect. Mrs. Chin came and brought homemade dumplings. My friends brought actual gifts instead of admission fees. My mom made a cake shaped like a stroller. Patricia didn't attend. She sent a card with a $25 gift card to Target and a note that said, "Hope this helps with baby expenses." The final insult came 2 weeks later when I received a bill in the mail. Patricia was charging me $200 for invitation design and postage costs, since the shower had been canceled. I framed it. It hangs in the baby's nursery now, a reminder of exactly the kind of grandmother I don't want her to become. Jake and I went to counseling to work through the family dynamics. He's learning to set boundaries with his mother, and I'm learning that some people will always find ways to monetize other people's joy. Patricia still sends holiday cards with invoices for her time spent picking them out. We don't pay them, and when our daughter grows up and wants to have parties, I'll make sure she understands the difference between hosting and hustling. Because celebration shouldn't come with a price tag, and love shouldn't require a down payment. Some gifts are meant to be freely given. That's what makes them gifts.